Dear viewers, welcome to my channel. Okay, in our series in magnetostatics, now we are going to see what is known as B due to an ideal solenoid. What is an ideal solenoid? An ideal solenoid is one. What is a solenoid? Solenoid is a wire wound in the form of a spring. This is nothing but a solenoid, in which if I send a current I like this, it starts passing through each and every turn and comes out like this. Okay, right? What is an ideal solenoid? An ideal solenoid is one whose length is very long compared to its diameter. Okay, now what is happening here? This is a current turn. Okay, current is flowing like this. So inside the solenoid, the magnetic field line because of this turn will be like this. Same magnetic, again current is in this turn also, magnetic field due to this turn also will be in the same direction like this. All these turns, current in all the turns will produce almost a uniform magnetic field everywhere inside the solenoid like this. Almost a uniform magnetic field everywhere inside the solenoid like this. Now in an ideal solenoid, okay, whose length is high, okay, the magnetic lines of force will go and come back like this, because magnetic lines of force, they always form closed loops. That's what we have seen. Okay, so what is an ideal solenoid? An ideal solenoid is a very long one in which the magnetic lines of force will be almost uniform everywhere inside, but just outside the solenoid, the lines of force will form closed loops, no doubt. Okay, but just outside the solenoid, here and here, the magnetic field can be taken as 0. Okay, now our aim is to find out what is the magnetic field inside the solenoid, which is almost uniform. Okay, for this we use Ampere's circuital law. Okay, I told you, whenever there is a specific relation between, right, the magnetic field and the current, okay, there is some symmetry aspects. Ampere's law gives us B value in the quickest possible manner. Okay, now what is that Ampere circuital law? Circular integral B bar dot dl bar is equal to mu naught times the net current I enclosed by the path. Net current I enclosed by the path. This is the statement of Ampere's law. Now using this Ampere's law, we'll try to find out the magnetic field inside the solenoid now. Okay, now take one solenoid now. Here it is like this. Okay, the turns are like this, say, magnetic field lines, this is the axis of the solenoid. Okay, magnetic lines of force are almost uniform like this. Okay, now this is the outer edge of the solenoid. Now what do? I have to evaluate circular integral B bar dot dl bar. Okay, the suitable Amperean path for this is, I'll choose a rectangular Amperean path. Okay, from here to here I'll go like this, just outside the solenoid and come back. This is my closed path, circular integral. I'll call this as A, B, C and D. Okay, right, the path is like this. This is my closed Amperean path. Okay, right, B is present only inside the solenoid. Outside the solenoid, B is equal to 0, ideal solenoid. Okay, now suppose, say, the total length of the solenoid is L and the total number of turns, which are like this, B equal to N. Okay, so what is small n? Number of turns per unit length. Small n equal to total number of turns in the solenoid by its length, N by L. Capital N by L is known as small n. Okay, we call it as number of turns per unit length. Okay, now the length of this AB section, I'll call it as, suppose, say, H. Let it be H. Means length from A to B is H, say. Okay, number of turns per unit length is N by L. Okay, how many turns will be there from A to B? So number of turns per unit length into this length H will give you the number of turns which are present between A and B. Okay, now this circular integral B dot dl means, okay, the Amperean path B is in this direction. In the Amperean path, the section from A to B, right, it is in the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, from A to B only. From B to C, our Amperean path is going like this, whereas magnetic field is in this direction. Okay, so, right, we can split this B bar dot dl bar, circular integral B bar dot dl bar is into 4 parts. That is, first one is from integral A to B, B dot dl, B bar dot dl bar, plus B to C, B bar dot dl bar, B bar dot dl bar, plus C to D B bar dot dl bar C to D B bar dot dl bar plus D to A B bar dot dl bar. Okay, circular integral of B bar dot dl bar. Okay, because B bar and dl bar are having different angles, right, in 4 different segments of our Amperian path. So I have split up into 4 parts like this: A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to A. Now, what is A to B B bar dot dl bar? A to B B bar dot dl bar means, right, A to B B dl cos theta. Okay, now dl, small element of length dl, is in this direction. Okay, that's what we consider. Now B is also in the same direction. Angle between B and dl will be 0 degrees, cos 0 is 1. Okay, so it is simply integral A to B B dl. Inside the solenoid, B is uniform, means same everywhere. So it is simply B constant, I can bring it out, integral A to B dl. What is the meaning of integral A to B dl? Total length, right, from A to B. What is total length from A to B? Nothing but h. So this entire thing will become B into h only. So this part, integral A to B B bar dot dl bar, is nothing but BH. Next, what about B to C B bar dot dl bar? B to C B bar dot dl bar, this C is just outside the solenoid. Okay, this element is extremely small. Okay, now angle B is in this direction. I am traversing the Amperian path in this direction, means dl bar is like this, B is like this. Angle between dl and B is 90 degrees, cos 90 will be 0. Cos 90 is 0 means entire integral will become 0. Okay, so this part, this second part is giving us 0. What about third part of the integral? C to D. C to D, right, that segment is going out of the solenoid. Okay, we have seen an ideal solenoid just out of the solenoid, B equal to 0. Okay, so there is no B at all in this region. In this region there is no B at all, so this segment also will give me 0. Okay, next, what about D to A? D to A B bar or dl bar. Here I am traversing the Amperian path from top to bottom vertically downwards like this, whereas inside the magnetic field B is like this. Okay, the angle between B and dl is 90 degrees, cos 90 is 0, the entire integral vanishes, so 0. Means out of these 4 parts, okay, only one part is contributing effectively for that circular integral B bar dot dl bar. Okay, so I'll consider only that. So circular integral B bar dot dl bar, okay, the entire integration is simply giving me B into H. Now what is Ampere's law saying? Circuital law says that it is equal to mu naught times a net current I enclosed by the path. What is that net current I enclosed by the path? Mu naught into current in each turn is I, say, in every turn. Okay, how many turns are there between A and B? Number of turns per unit length N into the length from A to B is nothing but H. Okay, this many turns are there between this point A and this point B. In each turn, right, I current is flowing. So net current I is NHI, we can write. So B into H is equal to mu naught NHI. So what is B inside the solenoid? B inside the solenoid is mu naught NI, we write. Mu naught NI we can write. Means the magnetic field inside a solenoid in an ideal solenoid is depending on, of course, the current through the solenoid and number of turns per unit length. Okay, that's it. It is not depending on the length of the solenoid. Okay, it is number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. This is the expression for B due to a solenoid. A solenoid, what is a solenoid? Where do we use it? It's used as source of magnetic field. Just like two parallel plates we take, okay, we use it as source of electric field, uniform electric field. We can take solenoid as a source of uniform magnetic field. Okay, right? Now, so these are the applications of Ampere's circuital law. Okay, now we can see some problems based on this Ampere's law. Okay, one very popular question which appears from intermediate level, JE level to even gate level, okay, is, some problem is like this, an interesting problem. There is a wire whose cross section is seen like this. Okay, this is carrying some current. Okay, its radius is, suppose, say capital R. What is the cross sectional area of this wire? Pi r square. Okay, pi r square. Current per unit cross sectional area, current density J bar equal to I by pi r square, we write. That is current per unit cross sectional area passing through this wire. The current may be into the board or out of the board. It can be anything. Okay, now there is a wire like this. Okay, cylinder. There is one circular hole inside, a cylindrical hole inside of radius small r. Okay, this entire current is carrying a having a uniform current density J bar. What is the magnetic field at any point P inside this hole we want? Means imagine a big hole, big cylinder, okay, a solid cylinder wire like this, in which there is some hole inside. Okay, that hole is also like this. What is the magnetic field inside? Okay, we have seen as an application of Ampere circuital law, what is the magnetic field at any point P inside, which is at a distance small r. Okay, means Ampere circuital law is given, that we have seen in our last lectures. Okay, B equal to mu naught I by, okay, 2 pi r square into small r. Okay, where capital R is radius of the wire. Okay, r is the distance from the axis of the wire. I by pi r square, if I take it as j, right, B equal to mu naught by 2, right, j into r. In vector notation it is j bar cross r bar. Okay, this will be the magnetic field. This will be the magnetic field. This will be the magnetic field at any point inside the wire. Okay, mu B bar equal to mu naught by 2 j bar cross r bar. Now this is not a uniform segment. There is one cylindrical hole which has been cut like this. Okay, here there is no current. Current is only in this region. That uniform current density J. Okay, now what is the magnetic field at any point P inside this hole? That's what is the question. Okay, right, now how do we proceed? Now there are two aspects here. First of all, we should find if this hole is not present. If this hole is not present, what will be the magnetic field at this point? Okay, right, at this point P, what is the magnetic field means I'll see at what distance that point P is present. I'll call this as R. Simply B bar equal to mu naught by 2 into j bar cross r bar will give me the magnetic field at this point. Now there is one hole here, okay, which is not carrying any current. Means what is the effective magnetic field at this point P? It is field due to this entire wire minus field due to this segment. Whatever field is missing because of this hole, that field should be removed from the total field, right, at that point P. Means there are two aspects for this. One is B1, I'll call the resultant, the total field is B1, minus whatever field which is lacking because of this hole, I'll call it as B2. So resultant B bar is nothing but, okay, B1 bar minus B2 bar. Okay, B1 bar minus B2 bar. What is B1 bar? Now let us take another diagram. Okay, this is my cross-sectional view of that wire, which is having a uniform current density J bar. Okay, right, and here we have a hole like this, and there is one point P. Okay, let this center have be at a point C, and this radius from the point O to this point P, I'll call it as R1. From this point C to that point P, I'll call it as R2. O to C, I'll take it as R. O to C, I'll take it as R. Okay, if this hole is not present, okay, this point P is at a distance R1. So what is the magnetic field B1 due to the entire wire without any hole? B1 bar equal to mu naught by 2 into J bar cross R1 bar. J bar cross R1 bar, because that point is at a distance R1. Okay, now if only this segment is there, what will be the magnetic field due to a current of this segment? Okay, it is B2 equal to mu naught by 2 into, right, same current density J bar cross from this center C to the distance to that position vector of that point P is R2, so it will be R2 bar. Okay, this much field would have come if there is a current in this segment also, but there is no current here, means that resultant field B is nothing but the difference of B1 and B2, B1 bar and B2 bar. Okay, we have to remove this one, so I'll write like this: B bar equal to, right, B1 is nothing but this one, okay, right, mu naught by 2, I take common, it is J bar cross R1 bar minus J bar cross R2 bar. Okay, J is constant everywhere, so I can write this as mu naught by 2, I'll take J out, J bar cross R1 minus R2 bar, R1 bar minus R2 bar. J bar cross R1 bar minus R2 bar. What is R1 bar minus R2 bar? Nothing but R bar. That is B equal to, okay, mu naught by 2 J bar cross R bar. J bar cross R bar. Okay, this is the resultant field at this point inside the hole at a point P. Now what can we conclude from this? Okay, this B inside this hole will be uniform everywhere. Okay, will be uniform everywhere. Why? Means it is depending on R1 minus R2. R1 minus R2 is a constant R, that is distance between this point O and this point C, that is constant. If you put the point P here, this is R1, this is R2, so R equal to R1 minus R2. You can choose this point P anywhere. I'll take this as R2, this as R1, and this becomes R2. Here also R1 minus R2 will give you R only. So at every point inside this hole, R1 bar minus R2 bar is nothing but R bar. R bar is nothing but distance between this point and this C. Means whatever is the field at this point C will be same as equal, or field at any point P inside the hole will be equal to the field present at point C. Means the field inside this hole is always uniform. Okay, what is its direction? Okay, cross product of J bar and R bar, whether J is pointing into the board or out of the board. Okay, right. So this is one interesting question which keeps on, which has come many times in many exams. Okay.